Hi, it's Cole from Cole's Quilts, and this video is about the Tree Frog Quilt-Along. We are still currently working on the Castle Dreamer Quilt-Along, and as I said in my last video, the last blocks will be coming out March 19th. So the Friday after that, which is March 26th, is when I'm aiming on starting the Tree Frog Quilt-Along. Why am I making a video about it now? Okay, because I want to sort of explain how I'm going to do it, and someone had asked me if I was going to have kits, and at first I was like, oh, I don't know, that might be difficult, but I decided to do it. But it's going to be a little bit different than the Castle Dreamer Quilt-Along, so I want to explain how, so that you can either, if you want to buy a kit, or you can start thinking about what fabrics you want to use if you want to be part of it. The idea for the Tree Frog Quilt-Along is similar to the Kaleidoscope Owl, and that is that in the Kaleidoscope Owl, every single block was the same block, but you used different colors and different sections to create a sort of pixelated picture. In the Frog Quilt, it's sort of like a combination of that and a traditional foundation paper piecing. So a lot of blocks are the same, but blocks that hit the sort of outline of the frog are going to be a little bit different so that we get a clean outline of the frog. So what that means is that it's still a lot of little pieces, and it's still designed to be done the way the owl was done. And what I mean by that is, if we compare like the Castle Dreamer Quilt-Along, I planned out that image with exact fabrics. So I had a list of exact fabrics, and the labels were all like, this exact fabric goes here. Whereas with that Kaleidoscope Owl, the idea was that there were so many different colors, and you just dig through your stash and you just find something that sort of matches it. And so it's like, has a lot of variety. That is also the goal with the Tree Frog. So what I mean by that is, if you look at the colors, almost every piece is a different color. That's not necessarily realistic to make a kit for, but here's why I have it that way, because I'm going to try to do it in a way where you have lots of options. Like option 1. You're trying to make it as close to the picture as possible. So each piece will be labeled similar to with the Kaleidoscope Owl, where it's going to have something that describes how light and dark the color is and something that describes the hue of the color. We're using a grayscale again. In the Owl one, we used a grayscale with numbers, like 8R is like a very light red, whereas 3R would be a dark red. I'm simplifying it a little bit to hopefully make it less confusing for people. I still have that same 0 to 10 grayscale in the pattern, but I'm sort of breaking it down into light, medium, dark. Each section will be labeled something like LG would be light green. Or if it's LNG, that means light neutral green, which means it's a muted green. So there's that description, and there will also be a little circle with the actual color from the image. So you can either go by the description or look at the color, and you could pick out a scrap that matches that exactly, and you could have a different piece of fabric for every single piece. That's our first idea. The second idea is, what if you want to really simplify it? I'm putting an image in the pattern that breaks down what areas of blocks and which blocks are part of the frog's body, which parts are the frog's hands, which parts are the background, and which parts are the tree. So that way, if you wanted to really simplify it, you could say, I'm just going to do all one green on the frog, and I'm just going to do all neutrals in the back. So the way I did the kit was I did a little bit of calculating of how much fabric is likely to be used and what colors we see the most, and I put together a kit, and I am calling it a starter kit. And the reason why I'm calling it a starter kit is because, like I said, with the Castle Quilt-Along, I had everything planned out exactly. And so my goal for that kit is that that kit has everything you need, period. And I sort of had that guarantee where I'm sending out more fabric for people who ordered it to make sure they have all the fabric. This one, though, I'm calling it a starter kit because the idea is you could probably finish the kit with that fabric, but I'm thinking more, my idea is that gives you a good basis to covers most of your basis, and then you can like supplement that with scraps that you have, or you could just use that, and hopefully that's enough fabric, if I calculated correctly, to get through it. But also it's all solid, so you might like use that, but also throw in some prints, depending on how you wanted to do it. So I've put that kit together. It's up on my website. If you would like to purchase it, what I'm going to do, instead of packing the kits as they're ordered, I'm doing a pre-sale. So if you go to it, it'll say out of stock, but then it'll say you can like pre-order it. So I'm doing a pre-sale sale where it's 10% off for people who order it before we start the quilt along. I'm going to wait until probably like the beginning of the week or like the weekend before when the Castle Quilt Along stops. Any orders that have been made, I will pack up and ship so that you should be getting your kit right about when it starts. And then after it starts, I'll probably take the discount off and make it like regular price. And then I'll probably send them as people order them. That's the plan for the Tree Frog Quilt Along. I am really excited about it. It's funny because I was so excited about the Castle Dreamer Quilt Along, and I still am. I'm sure some of you guys can relate. There's something about starting a project that's sometimes more exciting than doing the project. So there's two parts of quilts that I'm not a fan of. One is binding. Two is the last bits of the quilt where you have to sew together. Like, I like making the blocks, and sewing 2 blocks together or sewing 2 sets of 2 blocks together is fine. But when you get to the last few seams where you're sewing like half of the quilt and half of the quilt, I find that very stressful. But anyways, so if you want to do the Tree Frog Quilt Along, either be checking my website, or you can go to my website and you can get on my email subscriber list, and I'll usually send out an email right before something starts. Or you can join the Facebook group. That's a little bit easier because I also post the blocks in the Facebook group. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. And I'll be posting some pictures of the castle quilt as soon as I finish sewing these big pieces together. Happy quilting.